Everyone loves Mario Kart. So imagine a free-to-play Mario Kart with up to 60 players in a single race. Sounds pretty cool, right? Well, that is what Stampede Racing Royale is attempting to accomplish, and I recently got included in one of their playtests. Now, unfortunately, I don't think the game lives up to the potential of that initial premise. Now, the game is developed by Sumo Leamington, which from what I can tell haven't made anything else, and are a development studio based in the UK. This game is obviously a kart racer, so it includes all of your kart racery things. You have karts, you have power-ups that you pick up, and you have obstacles on the various tracks, and that's about it. The game also has a battle mode, which you win by just doing damage to other players. You don't actually get knocked out, like in Mario Kart, where you basically have 3 health. Now, like I said, the game doesn't feel that great, but it is in an early playtest, so maybe there's room for improvement. The tracks, in my opinion, are pretty bland and not all that special, and overall the racing and driving itself isn't that fun. The physics and handling in the game seem pretty underwhelming, and along with that, the other racers and the power-ups when you shoot them at people seem to kind of desync at times, and it can lead to some really weird interactions. The game, from what I can tell, does have 6 abilities that you can get out of the power-up. There's the mine, the shield, the nitro ability, the homing missile, the bomb that you can throw, and then basically like a green shell type thing where it just shoots forward but it isn't homing. None of these abilities are overly special, and honestly some of them are pretty underwhelming, but obviously they all pretty much have one-to-one comparisons to Mario Kart. You know, the mine is the banana, the homing missile is the red shell, those other things are the green shell, the nitro is obviously the boost, the shield is just a shield, so it kind of works like the star or the invincibility in Mario Kart. And overall, honestly, most of these are pretty underwhelming, and I'm not sure if it's similar to Mario Kart where if you're doing poorly you're more likely to get better power-ups. I ended up mostly getting a lot of mine, which honestly are pretty underwhelming. You also have the funny fact that when you pick up a power-up and, you know, it selects which one you're going to get, the announcer tells you, and the announcer seems so unenthusiastic to be there telling you your power-up. Along with this, you have 3 karts, light, medium, and heavy, that have slightly different stats, and then you can kind of customize your kart a little bit currently, where there's different paint jobs and different wheels that you can put on the car, and that's about it. So there's also customization for your little character that sits inside the car in terms of outfits and hats and sunglasses, and that's pretty much the whole game. Obviously right now this is a playtest, so they do have the potential to add more onto it, but the worry I have is that the bones that are there are honestly not that fun. The only thing that is kind of unique or interesting about this game is the fact that you have a Mario Kart game with 60 players in a race, right? But what ends up happening is if you're in the pack, it ends up really annoying because you just constantly bump into people and get hit by different abilities, and if you're not in the pack and you're in the front, then it just feels like you're playing off-brand Mario Kart, and it doesn't really provide any value in my opinion. There's also kind of the Battle Royale feature, so every time you load into a game, there's going to be 3 stages. The first stage is 60 players, and you have to place top 40 to get to the next stage. Then the next stage can either be a race or the battle mode, and in that you have to place top 20 to get to the final stage, and then in the final stage, it's the last one. You finish whatever you place in that one. And I thought similar to Fall Guys, it might kind of get more intense as you go, but honestly, it's actually really underwhelming because the third race is just exactly the same as the first race but with less players. So it's arguably just a less intense version of the original race because you're just racing against less people on the exact same tracks or the exact same battle modes. And like I said, I don't even really think the 60 player gimmick is all that amazing anyways. I feel like if they want to make this game actually good, they have a whole heck of a lot of improvements that they're going to need to make before the next playtest. This current one only goes for a few days, and hopefully they really add to it because I think they're going to need to do some serious changes if they want this to actually find a player base. Now, the game is free to play, and it has your standard free to play things. We're talking a battle pass, and they also mentioned it's going to have events and things like that. So it's pretty much just your standard live service game. But yeah, that's basically Stampede Racing Royale. Like I said, I'm not a big fan. I played it for a few hours and I had to just get off. I was pretty bored. Hopefully we see some improvement. I'd like to have a fun new kart racer to play on PC. I think that would be pretty fun. That is a genre that has been dominated by Mario Kart for literally ever. So it's fun when new ones pop up that are actually pretty cool that aren't just on Nintendo. That said though, guys, let me know in the comments what you think of the game if you happen to play it, or what you think of it just from the footage and everything. And other than that, I'll see you all next time.